Wow, that was a very disturbing face to start that stream with. Disturbido. Nice. Sweet. Sweet. Yeah. Cool down the CPU? Go away. Go away. Ugh. Streaming in. Who was first? Who was first? Oh, wow, they all come in. It's only been a minute. YouTube, you've done a good job today. So who was first? Yo, sup, finally caught you alive. Greetings. What it do? Looks like Kyle was first today. Not Kyle Kalinske, though. It was Julius. Oh. Going like fucking Caesar on me now. But what it do? Ha, never. Exactly. But speaking of Kyle, I was watching his Talking Smack earlier today. I'm not totally finished with it, but oh my goodness, like, Ted Cruz is he's failing. Like, you know, about the whole Senate race in Texas going on with Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz.
Who?
Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
I'm Ted Cruz, me. I'm Ted Cruz, me.
And then you got Beto O'Rourke, who I even personally don't even really like agree with him 100% on anything really, but you know, he's definitely a better candidate. But haven't heard about it? Well, basically Beto O'Rourke is kind of like this. He's like a half progressive, like half not Democrat. Like he has a lot of progressive tendencies, but he's not like totally progressive at all either at the same time. So his campaign's a little mixed, but Ted Cruz is just doing so bad that he made a song. If you want to run in Texas, you can't be a liberal man. If you don't got no star spirit, or something like that. I don't know. It's just like, gotta go back to work for 5 minutes. Damn, I know that feeling though. I know that feeling, man. I watch live streams in the middle of my breaks all the time, so I really do genuinely feel your pain whenever I'm watching like Paul's Ego or TJ Kirk or just a live stream podcast. I heard that song is fucking retarded. Yeah, it is. And then the endorsement at the end.
I'm Ted Cruz and I support this message. Me.
It's like, if I have family in Texas, and if I ever happen to visit during like the final like week of the election going on there, and they're just blasting Beto O'Rourke ads, blasting Ted Cruz ads, like, I just want to see the memes rise, dude. I mean, you gotta admit, dude, that song is a meme. Like, I love the song ironically. Unironically, I think it's just shit and trash. Like, it should just be burnt upon a pile and never to be seen from again. But for the memes and the entertainment, it's a hilarious song. I mean, come on. Like, that needs to be extended. Like, that song should be, there's so much to parody it. Cut that. Like, buy the rights to, like, that part of it and extend it and make it a total parody. Like, whoever does that, I will give them my full support. I don't care, dude. Like, I want to see that happen. Like, it's just, because in itself is a parody. Like, that song in itself is a parody, which is why I think someone should do it. Just go all in. Just do it. Might as well. It's already halfway there. And then at the very end of the full song, then do the Ted Cruz endorsement. And just make it like this whole hilarious debacle of memes and shit. South Park should. They definitely should. They wouldn't be able to do the full original one, but they could do a total mockery parody of it original. Their own original one, which I think they should. Like, if they don't do like a parody of this Ted Cruz Beto O'Rourke for like in South Park or something like that, I would be kind of disappointed. Because, I mean, for anyone who's at least been looking around national politics around the U.S., they've been kind of up there. Like, this whole Beto O'Rourke Ted Cruz race has been kind of big, especially recently, now that Beto O'Rourke is starting to lead by some polls. Like, I mean, it just says something. Ted Cruz is so bad. He is losing in some polls in Texas. This close in the race. Like, how are you this neck and neck? Texas hasn't had a senatorial Democrat in 30 decades. Imagine the cultural shift like that Texas would have with that. I mean, it's definitely not just sheer luck that a Democrat is winning. It's that there has to be there is a reason why he's starting to gain traction. I mean, he's literally visited every county. Like, straight up, the dude has gone to every county and done a rally at some point in Texas, and there's a lot of counties there. So, I mean, he's actually trying to put footwork in, which is one of the positives of his campaign. He's actually trying to give a shit. He's actually trying to bring this, he's actually going to, like, every corner of Texas, like, hey, I'm running for you guys, so here's my policies and stuff, vote for me if you want. I mean, he's trying to do some footwork out there, so I honestly think Beto O'Rourke has a chance. I think there might be, like, a political shift in Texas, and if Texas becomes blue, with California being blue, like, the GOP would just... Done, son. They would have to totally rethink their platform entirely. Like, the GOP would be done. Like, they would have to completely start from scratch as a totally new ideology to present themselves, because the way they're going to do it, if Texas turns blue like that, granted, it'll probably be a battleground state for a while, but if it's transitioning that way, they're going to have to rethink their strategy, totally. And blue Texas would be fucking crazy new. It would. I mean, I think we kind of saw the proto shift in Alabama. Granted, Doug Jones is an establishment tool and a piece of shit still. He got his win because he bolstered the minority vote, and also Roy Moore was a fucking pedophile and a piece of shit anyway. So it's just like, it wasn't that easy of a race. You beaten a pedophile. Congratulations, Doug Jones. It's like, that's not a big celebratory thing, but it's still proving a shift. If you're able to tap into the, Dixie Blue base, then there's potential for a shift, for sure. You're in Louisiana? Oh, wow, you're actually near TJ Kirk and Paul Zico, the guys I watch. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're guys that I watch pretty often. Like, every day. They actually just released some clips of the Flash Fried episode from yesterday. Gotta go. Time one for me. Now I'm gonna toke up and watch the new American Horror Story when I get off. Sounds dope, dude. Hell yeah, man. I need to watch The Sopranos. That's something I've been thinking about for a while, and that's kind of been on top of my head. Panchaluda, 20 minutes from Mandeville. Oh, cool. I literally don't know where any of those places are in Louisiana, but, I mean, I'm sure I'll be able to find those places easily. Like, I know where Baton Rouge and New Orleans is, but that's about all I know about Louisiana. I know where those are, but anywhere else. But I could... Actually, I think when I last looked at Louisiana, I think I might have seen Mandeville. Just, like, on a corner or something like that. I don't know. I don't know much about the geography. Oh, TJ lives in Mandeville? Oh, shit.
Yes,
well, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm coming back up there.
Skip it to Hibida? That's pretty dope. Like, I didn't, like, low-key, like, I mean, I wonder how, like, the chances are of meeting him. I wonder what the chances of that would be. That would be pretty dope. Peace and cheese. All right, well, you know what? I don't want to keep you away from your work because it is your break, so, go ahead and go back to work. I mean, I'll be streaming again at some point, so it's not like you'll be missing me, but... Oh yeah, I mean, I wonder what will be, like, the chances, because I know there's been, like, YouTubers that live in Oregon, but it's like, what's the chances of me just meeting them? But it's just like, it never happens, but at the same time, it does happen to people, so it's just like, what are the chances? I want it! It's like, I want my chance!
I want to see a YouTuber! I'm buttered! A YouTuber wants to meet YouTubers! I want my popularity and fame!
And luckily, definitely, I'm not that egotistically stupid. I'm like, this is just something for fun. It's always fun. I mean, if you're not having fun with this type of shit, then why would you do it? I mean, this is fun to me, so why do it? Plus, gives me an excuse to smoke some weed.
That's the biggest surprise, I would say. Okay, so just looking at the map, kind of figuring it out. 20% chance of this Florence 2, if you will.
Gives me a chance to, like, expand on new ideas, see different viewpoints. All sorts of shit, dude. So I love it. It's fun. Banging shit against this table. No shit, Evelyn Favors Live. High Lobsters. Burnt and Ernie are gay. Oh, Burnt. Oh my god. So I don't know if anyone's been hearing about this whole Burnt and Ernie thing, but since Evan LaFavor reminded me indirectly, thank you, Evan. Like, what's even this whole story about? So apparently the studio is trying to dispute the fact Burnt and Ernie are gay, but the writer's saying that it's based off of his relationship because the writer's gay, or some shit like that. Does this matter? Like, I've always kind of thought that, even as a kid watching Sesame Street and shit, I never really assumed that there was sexuality and shit, but looking back at it, I can understand why and see, because it's pretty implied. And it's not that, and I mean, even though it's implied and it's kind of open, why does it matter? I think, like, I feel like this whole, like, oh my god, I can just see it now with the SJWs saying, with the whole dispute. I think I saw it on Associated Press, too, where, they're gonna spin that headline that they're disputing the fact that Burnt and Ernie are gay as, like, some homophobic attack on the LGBTQ or something like that, and it's just, if that, and I can see it now because I feel like it is gonna happen, and I feel like if I looked at Twitter today, which I haven't yet, I'm gonna see something about that, and if that's the case, and then apparently, fucking, Stormy Daniels released a book, and then, in the book, she was talking about Trump's dick and how it looked like Toad from the mushroom from Mario. And CNN ran with it. CNN ran with Stormy Daniels talking about Trump's mushroom Toad dick. Who gives a fuck? Like, CNN, like, I think Trump supporters by this point are pretty dumb, but you help them when they talk about fake news. Like, you're literally perpetrating fake news with that. Like, no one cares. I guess it's not fake news because it's not like, it's just speculative celebrity gossip bullshit that you would see on E! Or the fucking View. It's like, you're a fucking news organization and you're talking about dicks. Not just any dicks. Trump's dick. Nice one, CNN. Nice. Great. Make me proud. Keep it up. Proud of you. Man, I just, like, when people talk about how fucking bullshit mainstream media is, this is why. It's stuff like that. It's, like, the pretty orchestrated and pretty planned out accusations against Kavanaugh, too. Granted, Kavanaugh's a piece of shit, and I don't like him, and he's an establishment insider as well, which is why he shouldn't be in the fucking Supreme Court anyway. So, with that said, the accusations are just a totally separate thing, and to try to tie this in with his appointment, like, no one likes the mainstream media because of this shit. No one wants to hear mainstream media talk about this stuff. They want to hear, like, it's easy to just go after Trump about anything. Though, when you look at the details, though, which is what the fucking, these news organizations should be talking about, like, how Dems want to just appoint Kavanaugh so they can go home for the, like, you know, one of their obligatory 1 week breaks from being at Washington and shit like that. Like, so they just want to appoint him because they're fucking lazy, for one, and then because of money, because he's really, like, there's because if you look at the whole orchestrated accusation shit, apparently Dianne Feinstein or whatever the fuck, and Democratic loyals to her and aligned with her, working with her at the time, were like knew about these accusations but didn't do anything about it until okay, one, I don't think Feinstein prophesized or predicted that Kavanaugh was going to get appointed, so I don't think that was the reasoning. But the fact that he is still a Washington insider, and she is working with him and hiding this type of shit, proves that he should not be a Supreme Court nominee. That's just some of the fucking things that he's just aligned around with. That's just the fucking crew he walks with. That's not even looking at his substance. And to be fair, I don't have his whole fucking record memorized in the back of my mind like a bunch of this other shit I do. So, I know Kyle Kalinske does a really good video on, it was actually related to the accusations of Kavanaugh, but he goes into some of his record a little bit. So if you want to learn about it, go to Kyle Kalinske, type in like Secular Talk Kavanaugh or some shit like that, and it should be like one of the few results, because he uploaded that video I think a week ago by now from this stream. So I'd check that out, because that's where I remember hearing a lot of the points, but I just don't remember off the top of my head right now, like I said. So sounds like a lot of people came in and joined, and they all left because they were bored of my fucking shenanigans and rambling. I like it. I do these streams to shenanigans and ramble, and like people come on and wondering what's going on. What do I call? I'm camouflaged, thus I'm invincible, and yet I'm still here. So I hope people know that, to play along with this, I should have sat in this seat over here and just been talking like out of camera to everybody, where I can still see what's going on, but you can't see me. Like I can see the screen, like this or some shit. This would actually make sense, because I can still see the screen, but y'all can't see me. And if I smoke, I don't have to necessarily blow like right over here or something, like, blowing this way. I can blow it out away, so no one would know I'm actually here. Well, I guess the smoke would at least apply that there is a presence here, so I guess it wouldn't just be a ghostly figure talking. But I'm thinking way too into it now. I did have some edibles. I bought some edibles because edibles are good. I haven't had much to eat today either, so my body is digesting pure edible right now with some tea. It's actually this stuff right here. Fully baked edibles. Taste the flavors, not the flowers. Not for kids! Dextrose. Carmine, pink food color, cream cheese. Cream cheese, egg, raspberry puree, cheesecake syrup, coconut oil, vanilla extract. Lecithin granules contains milk, egg, wheat, coconut. Meanwhile, equipment also processes peanuts. And, of course, cannabinols. But this looks basically just like any other standard product, It's just that there's a warning label for marijuana. Because, well, it's not the wrong thing. So, I wonder how much are in a serving is a half a cookie. And it says there's 5 cookies, so I had 2 servings, I guess. Because I had a whole cookie, and I just ate that whole thing right then and there. So I might have another one later, but I'll probably save the other ones for tomorrow. But they're only $12 for that whole bag. 5 cookies, $12. Pretty good. Marijuana's been cheap here, man. Marijuana's been pretty cheap. We got a surplus of it. That's why. So it's good shit. It's good shit, man. Man, YouTube really totally did not help me at all on this one. Thank you again. I actually start at a decent hour, but it don't matter because people are just like, there's a stream, I never got a notification. It's gonna happen in like 30 minutes, or maybe by the time 30 minutes of the stream has been done. Guarantee it. I love how YouTube just doesn't notify people when, something happens for their channel to subscribe to and have a notification bell on.
Because now you got this guy rambling to a box, having a dopamine loop by himself.
Then people can watch it, an insane dopamine loop or rambling of a man. Online, forever.
Hurry up.
Huh?
Just Deadwood, hurry up.
For real. I mean, because not only do you have to deal with fast shit, but you and I were going to go to the pub later. And one of my friends hit me up earlier while I was gone, and he was wanting to do it too. And he said he'd pop by around, actually, probably while the stream's going to go on. So, if he does, I mean, at least it'll be, I mean, not just utter silence and awkwardness and me just staring at a screen. But it's all good, though. You get the good ones and you get fizzly ones. Got a good rambling there at early stream, so they'll probably be... I've had slow periods and then, like, heightened, like, good highlight periods of streams.
Because while your reverse dump days may be behind you, your collection days are just beginning. Aetna Medicare Advantage, coming soon to your area with over 50 new learn more at aetnamedicare.com. Aetna Medicare is a PPP, HMO, PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal.
Peace and cheese. Peace and cheese. How like 10 minutes ago said peace and cheese. The world must have peace through cheese. Because that's what everyone wants, to be pleased. Start like a freaking global peace song about cheese. And the way we bring about world peace is through cheese. If you're lactose intolerant, then you will die. Because you will fart your literal brains out.
Oh God! Too much cheese!
God, that would be terrible. That would be so terrible. So many people who are lactose would just probably not die, but probably be pretty miserable for a very long time. And that's that thing getting all I can where's the paper towels? Because we can use a little bit of that to kind of clean out the pathway too.
There wasn't no hole in the bowl.
Oh, did you hear about, yeah, I think I told you about Coca-Cola, either they're considering or they are investing in cannabinoid beverages and shit.
Yeah, I heard that. I also heard
Yeah, I think I told you about it last night. Yeah, I think because Clyde was talking about it, and I heard about it, and I started talking about it and shit. I think that's a good thing because, I mean, when you really think about it, these big corporations honestly run this country. So if big corporations and the mainstream is starting to open up to investments in marijuana, I mean, it legitimately is like only a matter of time until the feds start legalizing it. Because if enough big corporations are investing in it, they're all going to be like, hey, we don't really like it when you got like policies that go against our interests. So here's some money if you remove these marijuana prohibition laws. Like, granted, it's kind of a scummy way to do it, but I mean, if it gets the feds to legalize marijuana, I'd be down with it. But it will still have to be done, I mean, very cautiously, though.
Right, yeah.
I mean, because, you know, if you just rush legalization policies and it's not, and leave loopholes and shit, generally they're probably going to be left there for these big corporations to exploit. But if those are just left there to, you know, be exploited, then that's going to be a problem. So you don't want, so when you are crafting these legislations, you want to make sure that sometimes they might need to be dragged on a little bit, so you actually craft like a really good piece of legislation, and it's actually going to be beneficial, and the regulations don't go too far, but also don't go far enough. You know, it's like there's a good amount, like kind of like how Oregon's been doing it. Like, honestly, I think the way Oregon has it all laid out now, considering our surplus of weed and shit, is pretty good. I mean, I think that with the tax revenue that we get from it should be probably budgeted better, but other than that, I mean, it's not really bad. I mean, Oregon's, you know, fleshed it out pretty well. I mean, Colorado did, Washington did. I mean, there's only a few states that need to add provisions and shit, like California, Alaska. In Alaska, it's legal, but you can't have like a retail shop. Like you can't walk into a dispensary, but you can privately own it and have it legally. Like, so it's a little weird. So I mean, there's essentially there's still a black market, but it's legal, but you can't have an actual legal like open market of it too. So it's really, Alaska has it a little weird. So I mean, that's why some states have it, even though it's legalized, it's a little weird. So I mean, that's why it needs to be, carefully crafted upon. And if it actually, even though it might, look good on the surface, I mean, the inside might be so terrible that it might not actually be a good idea to pass it. Like that's because I think there's been multiple times where Oregon's tried to legalize it, but of course, like I think it was 2014, it did finally, and it was just because of multiple attempts, but every time they had to craft their legislation and like the ballot initiative and have to also just get more support too. I mean, there's a lot of factors to it. But the main factor, the support for it, is so overwhelming right now that, I mean, it's only a matter of time until the actual, crafting of the legalization policies comes to fruition. It's only a matter of time. I just feel like with the people who are still in the illegal states and to see all the people in the legal states, they're like, I want it now! Because, to see everyone else having it, it's like, I totally understand. But it's just like, I mean, these things just don't happen just like now. I mean, with the current administration, I don't know if it will federally get legalized. Decriminalized, maybe. But with Jeff Sessions still doing his stupid shit, I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, who knows what could happen with all that. But, I think it could potentially definitely happen after 2020, depending on how that goes. If Trump's still in office by that point, which is a total plausibility, then it could happen until 2024 or 2025. But if not, which I think is a more likely case that he won't be, then there's a likely chance that there will be an office, or at least maybe a House, that would push for that type of legislation and then pass it. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know the details of how it could happen. I just know that I just feel like that it will eventually around that future. Because I know Vermont did it, legalized marijuana for the court, so it's even possible the Supreme Court will just say, fuck it, we'll legalize it. Just overruled. We just overruled the law, now it's legalized, basically. I mean, the court has potentially to do that. Like, if they find something unconstitutional or unlawful or something like that, they can look at that law and talk amongst themselves and then come to a verdict and say, all right, this is illegal or this is unconstitutional or whatever, whatever decision to come to. I mean, so if Vermont, the state court did that, then Supreme Court can definitely do the very same thing.
What he's doing? Is it the storage unit or?
I don't know what is going on. All I know is that I want to cash in that rain check you wanted for that pub. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be, at this rate, probably 9. But that's not going to be late. Also, they have tenders and fries there at the pub. That's really good.
Cool.
2 pieces with, and they're pretty meaty pieces too. And a nice thing of fries for $5. It's pretty good. I might get something else there just to see what else they got. But, and I don't know what's your favorite bar drink that you usually get? Because I'm kind of leaning on the White Russians and the Black Russians lately, and those are really, really good. Do you usually get just simple Jack and Coke, usually, or?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure.
I'd recommend trying a White Russian, so I think I'll have you try that.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, there's this Ace Pineapple brew that they have that's really good. I mean, obviously we don't want to go overboard, but I mean they got a lot of good selections there. And I also just don't know enough different types of drinks to, diversify. So at some point I'm gonna look them up and also ask Stefan's hey, I know you got drinks in your memory file that you want to try and stuff or have tried. What'd you recommend? I got Black Russian, White Russian. What else you got on? What else you got in the memory banks? What else you got in there? Computer. Be like Stefan, aka computer. Locate me these files. I just dropped a note, and I found it.
You found it?
Yeah. Oh, is this another one?
What's happening at FM News 101?
Oh, it's another one right here.
Oh, you found the one that I dropped.
Well, it's a little leaf, but
Supposedly. Okay.
yeah. I mean, it could have been from mine, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh says he's anxious to clear his name, and he will be if today's Senate Judiciary.
Of course he is anxious.
It's not clear
Probably has a...
accuses him of sexual assault when they were teenagers will be.
Oh my god, it's because of that. That, okay. I'm sure he's anxious about it because it's probably going to affect if he's going to get appointed or not.
Right.
Which, of course, it is. Even though I don't think it really should. I mean, well, if it does, it should just postpone it until he goes through this trial and investigation. But at that point, you might as well just try to find someone else to appoint, because who knows how long that would take. So, I mean, it is really it just feels really orchestrated, and because honestly, it probably is. But like, I still don't like necessarily disagree with like not appointing him just because like he's so tied in with Diane, like I mean with this accusations at least with Dianne Feinstein, and then has so many close ties with the establishment insiders, and like has had these type of backgrounds, and has had help from Dems and Republicans too. So he's just all around establishment type of insider. So why do we want to continue to perpetrate this corruption that's been plaguing our system for so long? Like, I mean, it's, not to say that there's Supreme Court judges who aren't corrupt like that still. I mean, there are those in there, because, I mean, they already done this before. It's just another attempt. One of their, of course, countless attempts they always try to do. I mean, it's just kind of like how Obama tried, like, didn't he try to do a Supreme Court nomination or whatever during, like, the final end of his, like, presidency, like, the very end?
Who?
Obama, like, wasn't he trying to do a Supreme Court nomination or something like that?
I don't know.
I think so. I think this just continue. I think it is, like, because I think he was trying to appoint some centrist establishment type of dude who had a very just flubby record, but also was, like, in some cases, mainly social issues, he wasn't, like, terrible, but economically, he's just a piece of shit, and a corporatist type of establishment insider. But I feel like, but because, of course, Obama's presidency ended, you couldn't get him in.
Right.
So I think this is just Trump trying to fill that empty seat still, I think, and because he's in the administration now. And I love it how sometimes my grinder will, like, get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Just had to take the glove off. And I'll just take them off. My hands are kind of sweaty. It's probably why.
On FM News 101.
Damn. Man, no Joe, no Venom, no Carl, no Jimmy. Not even a Mike Johnson. Not even the memory decipher, whatever that troll's name was. No one's here. Still. Well, this is bust. I guess we can do our little wrap up at this point, since no one has still came by. We'll just listen to Clyde and talk about that. They are not what they claim, oh no! You know what movie I want to see?
What?
They Live.
They live?
They Live, yeah. I haven't seen that film before, but it's a sci-fi flick, and I mean, you heard about it, right? Really? I think it's like an 80s or a 90s flick or something like that. And basically, there's these aliens that have like took over the world and have basically integrated into human society for their own leisure. And there's and basically like the top echelons of society are pretty much those aliens that fuck around with the world and stuff for their own entertainment and luxury and leisures and stuff like that. And there's only a very few in the mass populace who are also aliens and stuff. But for the most part, the mass populace are also just other humans who are just being exploited. But there's other aliens within them that also like to play around more directly with them and try to exploit them directly as well. So, I mean, that's kind of the main premise of the film, is basically that, there's this alien race. But a part of the film is that there's these glasses that allow you to see their illusions and shit, like their telepathic illusion that they put over your mind, basically, that that looks pretty corporatized stuff, but when you put the glasses over, it basically shows their true message. It's like obey, marry, have kids, reproduce, pop, stuff like that, and like buy and stuff like that, So it's a pretty crazy flick that from the sounds of it, and that like the very end of the film, they have like their broadcasting station get blown up and shit, which removes this whole illusion to everybody, basically. And it's also supposedly like a very absurd film. It has like one of the longest fight scenes in film history and shit like that. It's like, oh my god, this sounds intense. It's like, in many ways, it's like just absurd and very like what the frick. It's just like, okay, I really need to see this film. It just sounds insane. I mean, but its messaging and themes though are pretty blatant, which is how it gets away with the absurdity. It's like it's not absurd for absurd's sake. It's like it's literally like smacking the message on your face. It's like, hey, it's basically like the corporate elite and the fucking like corporate hegemonies and the big banks and these elitists rule everything, and the glasses are basically you just being aware enough to see it. That's pretty much the basic theme of it. I mean, so the message is pretty clear, but recently the movie's been popping up because I guess a bunch of white nationalists are saying that the aliens are the Jews and shit like that. Which is how the director has come out to say the main thing, because a bunch of stupid racist idiots want to think that it's Jews and shit when it's just, no, it's not Jews. It's a class that has exploited a bunch of fucking people, the elitist establishment corporatist class and shit like that. So I mean, like, it sounds like a really crazy, interesting film that I just need to see. So it's like on one of my lists of sci-fi films I need to do on a binge, along with the original RoboCop, because I've only seen some bits of it, The Fifth Element, and The Thing, the remake of the 1980 version, and also Alien 1 and 2. I've seen all the Terminators, and I've seen Total Recall. Oh, and I need to see The Fly, too. I want to see The Fly with Jeff Goldblum, Our Holiness. Our Holiness, Jeff Goldblum. Before he went low cokey. Ooh, Star Trek. Alright, I'm down for this.
Speculated that the solar system had an extra planet. And for centuries, hypothetical planets have been speculated about, and the idea that we once lived in a binary solar system. That's also something that if you talk to a serious scientist about, they say, we don't live in a binary solar system. But, if you believe the ancient stories of what you read in the Bible and a lot of what you see, like, for example, in Star Wars, there's a lot of hinting there of, binary solar systems and possible planets that...
binary solar systems obviously exist. I mean, it's a trinary solar system, Alpha Centauri. So, I mean... It's just our solar system isn't that. But there are obviously, most definitely, other systems that are like that, of course.
They're taking pictures, and they're getting a peek at Planet X. I don't know if those pictures are showing Planet X. They may be showing a reflection of something, they may be showing something else, but
Ooh, talking about Planet
without a
X
doubt, we're
too.
seeing something that is anomalous in the sky near the sun.
I don't know
Now, if any of you
much
out there who are hearing my voice right now have taken pictures and saw anomalies during the
about
sun,
like
but
Planet
now's your time to
X,
shine
but
because it just looks like Planet X.
I mean, from what I've heard,
Certainly, has always been a topic of.
I mean, I've heard of like at least like the support for it, which seems like a plausibility.
Despite the fact
It's just that maybe skepticism with Planet X or Nibiru or whichever its official name is that if we truly do have the planet, we would probably have seen it by now in like an orbit or something like that. I mean, granted, it could be one of those extremely long orbits that lasts like 1,000 years. It could be one of those type of orbits, and you know, it's just going to be a very long time before it comes around our vision again. And I mean, it could just be potential that it's probably in one of those far-reach orbits if it is out there. I mean, because there's evidence, because there's like in the Kuiper Belt, like which is like where Pluto is out there. There's like this big blotch of just emptiness that kind of would bring to suspect there might be of something with mass gravitational force and pull that probably went through there and maybe sucked a bunch of stuff out of the way or pushed it all out or whatever. So I mean, there's evidence to support it, but there's not enough to really say that it's there. I mean, because there's still also other evidence to say that it's not, but I mean, I don't know.
We started using the Lowell Observatory to hunt for Planet X. Planet X is not a generic reference to some unknown planet, but a specific prediction of Lowell's, which led to the accidental discovery of Pluto. So then, Pluto was actually part of this whole thing. Pluto has a part in it. Uranus, Neptune all has a part of it. I mean, there was a study that was released last May, for example, that suggests that a rocky object called 2015 BP519
Ooh, that's back pops.
orbits the sun in a bizarrely high and eccentric path. Now, a planet about 10 times the mass of Earth is out there, 20 times farther out than Neptune. Now, no one is calling it Planet X just yet, but I truly believe that there is some trickle-down disclosure happening where we will.
I mean, if it comes through like an orbit and came back, and if it's like 10 times, or 20 times, 10 times, what do you say? I think it was 10 times, like this mass of Earth. I wonder what effect that would have. Like, it'll be really interesting to actually have this scientific technology to actually be able to, study what this can do. If it truly exists and is able to come through, because if it does, then obviously Planet X exists, and now we can actually officially name the freaking thing, and, now we can actually track its orbital pattern now that we can actually see where it is and what it's all doing. I mean, there's still so much of our own solar system we don't know about, so, I mean, I don't rule it out, but I'm still just super skeptical of it. But, it would be a really awesome, cool discovery, though. The conspiracies that there might be like an alien race or something like that hidden on it just wouldn't make sense to me, because if it's really that far away, would it be able to like get all that sun's energy and shit? Like, Pluto's like a ball of ice. Like, imagine how cold Nibiru must be out there. You know what I mean? Like, if it came through here, I mean, it would have like a small period of time it would heat up, but it definitely wouldn't be long enough for any effect on life there. I mean, unless, because if it gets close enough to our sun, it will eventually have a stronger gravitational force, so it'll have a quicker orbit. It'll probably go really close to the sun, and then, which is probably how this orbit is. If it goes really far out there, then it probably has a close orbit when it comes to the sun. So, I don't know, I mean, it's a very, like, I don't know, like, my knowledge of astronomy and astrophysics is pretty layman, so I can't, like, totally explain it all away, but, I mean, it's like the idea of it, though.
And so the move to the planet in 2006, the IAU, and then they demoted it, it was basically an incomplete attempt to repair a mistake they've made. And science does make mistakes, we know that. Also, that there's a shell game afoot. Because when you're playing around with whether or not Pluto's a planet, you have to try and change or at least amend.
Isn't it officially a dwarf planet or something like that?
I believe.
Yeah, sure.
They were going to call the moon a planet. Okay, because they're looking at.
I mean, there's moons and stuff that are bigger than Pluto, so I mean,
mountains. They're looking at whether or not you can inhabit.
I don't know. I think to call it a dwarf planet would be the best way to describe Pluto.
Or even Titan could be planets.
It's not big enough to be a planet because there are moons that are bigger than it, but it's still a planet. And there's also other orbital bodies in the Kuiper Belt which it lies in that are also just as or slightly bigger than it. So I mean, it wouldn't make sense to just call those all dwarf planets and just, you know, have like our planetary solar system planets, and then, you know, have our dwarf planets in the solar system.
Right.
There's a bunch of them out there that don't name.
Hey there. Well, welcome there, Carl. Just got off work at the kitchen. Right on, dude. Kyle caught one of my streams finally, and another viewer who watches me. I guess he watches my streams when I'm not streaming, so that's all cool though. But he was on his break when I happened to be on stream, so he was in here for a little bit. But cool. I was actually going to wrap it up because there's no one here for literally 20 minutes, and I'm not... actually 25 minutes. I'm not even hyperbolic in that. Like, I've just been talking with Robert about whatever Clyde's been talking about the past like 20 minutes, which has actually been about Planet X. And you kind of missed just my rundown of what I think of the whole idea of Planet X, whether it exists or not, or the conspiracy of Planet X, and I'm just like kind of just right down the middle, but leaning very skeptical on the idea. But I think it's plausible, you know, and like my rundown is basically that it's the possibility of a Planet X, you know, or Planet Nibiru, whatever the fuck. I don't know why I was like X, but the idea that it could exist, considering that our orbital patterns, not just in our own solar system, but other solar systems that we've discovered that have very long orbital patterns, it can make sense that there's one that probably lasts 1,000 years that is really far out there and comes really close to the sun's, and when it comes back and launches itself right back out there and doesn't come back for another 1,000 years or so. That is a plausibility. A ninth body has been predicted to exist due to gravitational effects on the outer planets. Yeah, which is why I think it's a plausibility that it exists. And if it does, then that will be a really amazing discovery, which I think if it does exist, we'll probably see it coming back either on its way out there when we start seeing its body a little bit, you know, and start saying, hey, there's something there coming back. Or if it's starting to really come close and it's like, oh, past the Kuiper Belt, oh shit, it's here. It's like, oh, it's right there. So, I don't know. I mean, the plausibility of a Planet X existing, I don't rule out because I think it is a possibility. But realistically, that's how Neptune discovered. Well, it's also how Pluto was discovered, was looking for Planet X and stuff. Well, because Clyde was actually just talking about this. He was talking about during the hunt for Planet X, they discovered Pluto along with, I'm assuming, probably other orbital bodies within the Kuiper Belt, because Pluto lies in that Kuiper Belt region, and it makes sense that you'll probably find other things in that region too. But, you know, or probably just finding the Kuiper Belt and as a whole, because if you're just discovering Pluto, then you probably are also realizing, oh, there's a whole belt of things out here too. If not with Pluto, very shortly after its discovery. Those orbit the same axis as the planets. Well, neither does Uranus too a little bit. It has like a weird, it has like a weird axis. Like it's like tilted really awkwardly with Uranus. So, I mean, it's not just Neptune that has that weird effect. I think it's also Uranus that has it too. And, you know, it would be really interesting to really find that discovery, though. That's about as far as I go with Planet X. Like, there are people that go farther and say there's like a hidden civilization on Planet X and shit, but think about how cold those outer planets are: Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, and the Kuiper Belt. Would a civilization be able to adapt that cold? That's very, 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 very cold. Like, that's like negative 100 some Celsius or some shit, like, which is like a negative, like, way more, like, it's way more in like Fahrenheit and shit. Like, that shit is cold, dude. Uranus rotates on an odd axis but orbits the same axial plane with all the other planets. Planet X would orbit in a different axis. Yeah, like, I don't know yeah, like, I mean, I was, like, my hypothetical axis was talking about how it could reach far out due to a very close orbit with the sun that launches it out there and doesn't come back for a very long time, and it comes really close. And kind of like how comets would come by near the sun, but they evaporate because they're ice balls. But like asteroids or other bigger body-like objects that go right by a sun and make an orbit, they generally get launched right out there usually if they're like coming in at an angle and get launched another way, because they're using that sun's gravitational pull and force to their advantage to be launched with more inertia. I mean, my astrophysics is pretty layman, but I mean, I have a basic understanding of it. Because I love astrophysics and astronomy, this shit fascinates me because it's amazing. Like, because, you know, like, with these orbits and stuff, it's not just, like, one plane. I mean, you know, you can have an orbit going, like, up and down, like, you know, or something like that, or, like, a weird sideways, which some of our orbital bodies are actually sideways and stuff. Like, our moon is above, it's a little bit above Earth and stuff. I mean, you know, sits up there, you know, for a little bit, chills out there. It kind of, you know, it kind of actually goes all over the place, but, I mean, for the most part, it kind of chills right up there, you know, kind of like the upper half-ish for the most part, but you know, it comes down there below for a little bit, hangs down there too occasionally in orbit. I mean, like, that's what just fascinates me about it. It's just like it does all the, you know, nothing is like, of course there's limits in the solar system and in space, but I mean, anything can really go out in space and stuff like that. I mean, so the idea of like a Planet X being there and stuff is a plausibility to me. I'm just still skeptical of it because, I mean, considering how advanced our space technology to at least observe space and stuff like that, like with our telescopes and things, we probably would have seen something by now, you know? But I mean, there's still stuff we don't know about our solar system. There's stuff that we haven't discovered within it still. I mean, it's like our solar system's huge. It's pretty huge, and, you know, so who knows? I mean, it could be a total plausibility. Definitely don't rule it out. Ugh. It sucked on my back weird or some shit.
In Massachusetts. Hi, Derek. You're on ground zero.
Derek.
Good. How you doing, man?
From Massachusetts, dude.
You mentioned, like, the reason why I called is you just said if anyone has any stories about solar anomalies, so this is your chance to call. So
Sure.
it triggered me. A few years ago, I called about a Jupiter-sized object near the sun. I heard about it on another conspiracy show at the time. And it's like from 2015, and then if you go to the screen, or if you go to skyshipsovercachers.com, and there's like there's 5 years, and then during 2015, there's probably like
Sounds like
a
natural.
dozen images, and one of them would be a blue sphere near the sun. And Mary Joyce is the researcher for that.
That or my friend
She
showed
says
up.
that she had a crystal
One of the two.
ball, analyze the image, and it's metallic. She believes it's
If it's my
metallic.
friend, that's
So it's a
okay.
Jupiter-sized
I'll keep
craft
streaming for a
near the
little
sun.
bit.
So it was a spaceship?
He doesn't know. I mean, it's a sphere. It's
A Jupiter-sized object by the sun.
Is metallic after studying the images, and it's the size of Jupiter near the sun. And it was at the time.
I mean, I don't.
2015,
Apparently,
2016,
it's talking about there's actual images of it, so I haven't seen these images or anything. But
so compelling that I had to buy welding glasses.
how much weed do you go through in a day? Honestly, not really that much. I mean, I still have this lemon kush that I bought like a week and a half ago. Did I work today? No. I mean, I only went to the dispensary just to grab more purple Hindu kush and some wedding cake.
Yes.
And those strains are like my night are just and those strains are my nighttime strains, which make me go to sleep. So I bought these 2 strains because I gave an eighth to my mama because she really needs it, especially. And she seems like she's been doing a little better with it, so I think it's been helping her. But mixing those 2 strains together knocked me the fuck out. So I use that at night. But this Lemon Kush I've been using for the day. And I don't really smoke a lot of it because it's just honestly really good shit. It's just, I mean, like, I've only had, like, what, 2 bowls this whole stream, and I've only been going an hour, and I just honestly been just keep smoking through it, because, I mean, like, I have a little screen at the bottom of the bowl because the hole's kind of fucking huge. So, with this with this strain I've been using, the resin kind of builds up at the bottom a little bit and gets stuck there. So sometimes just hitting the resin with a little bit of whatever's on top, you know, I just add a pinch on top and just smoke that. It does me good too. Probably not the best way because there's resin I'm smoking too, but it still hits good. So. You know, saves me weed a little bit. Like, I mean, I have this little bit right here that I'm gonna like just put in that bowl here in a sec. But yeah. But no, I'm off for these next couple days, and I got a few errands done. I got one more thing to do, which is just put some money in the bank, but I can do that anytime. I just have to find an ATM of my bank. So, I mean, once I get that out of the way, I mean, all my things are essentially done. I just got, like, literally one financial aid thing left, and it's literally this one thing my school needs, and it's just like, for fuck's sake. Like, it's like a hurdle that I just don't want to go through, but my school needs it, and it's like, fuck you, dude. It's just like, just let me go through this, but it's the fall term, and this is when a lot of new college students are coming in and stuff, so these type of things are generally pretty common, so I'm not, like, freaked out or nothing, I'm not in, like, panic mode, but if like, tomorrow, I'm gonna go down and deal with it, but, like, if my shit isn't resolved, which I have, like, some papers I need to deal with for one thing, and I already got another part of it resolved. So if it doesn't resolve it, like, oh, fuck me, there's gonna be an issue, but there shouldn't be, though. It should be all good. Do you ever work doubles? Nah, man. Actually, I found out some stuff about my work, and it's going to allow me to do some research that I think I'm going to share too on the channel as well. And what it is so here's what I've talked about it for a while, like about my work stats and shit. So I've talked about how I thought Albertsons, a Safeway brand, or a store brand company bought Safeway. That's not the case. There's this other company, a corporate hegemony that's been buying all these other companies, which includes like Kroger, Vons, Fred Meyer, Albertsons, and Safeway. So they bought Albertsons, and then and this is about a year ago, and then 3 months in, they bought Safeway. And they basically just tied in Safeway to Albertsons and made them one. And oh, what the fuck is this? I got a phone call? Oh, no, I do. Well, hold it up and I'll be right back. I have to answer this real quick, but don't go anywhere. What's up? Hola? Well, I need to reconnect this. Damn.
We lost power in half the house.
We lost power in half the house? How did we lose power in half the house?
That might be a switch that was blown over there somewhere.
We lost power in half the house.
We have no lights in the living room. We have no lights in my room. The hall's okay, and there's no lights in the bathroom.
So my room is okay?
I didn't check your room.
Oh my. Joe, hey, I just came back from a phone call. And then Carl left because I guess I took too long. It was way longer than I thought, but I was wondering. Yeah, I mean, those who are strong-willed are the loyals. What happened? A friend was calling me about an update. He's probably gonna... We're just working out, like, plans and about going to pub and shit, and, I know you have to do your thing, so it's probably gonna be, like, this is just, like, plans, outside stream shit. But, anyway, well, now the thing's about normal. Totally, like, DM Carl on Twitter, be like, get his fat ass back.
Get his fat white ass back in here, boy.
Well, Mexico State Police. I was watching the circle ho rung and round on your face. Oh, it's go round and round on my face. Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happens, unfortunately, when, you know, there's interruptions. But at least it wasn't because my phone died. It was just because of a phone call. You're getting tense. You're just like speeding up with everything now. You're just waiting. Went to bed again. Carl, get the hell up.
Just ready when you are.
So much left to talk about.
Yeah, there must be a break
about Sam's call and more about, you know, some information from
Yeah, we lost power at half the house.
What is happening here? What is happening in the sky? What is happening in space? And, you know,
We somehow lost power in half the house. So, that's fun. I don't know what happened, but that's what happened.
And, of course, Hoagland is the principal investigator and founder of the Enterprise mission, as well as the vision and the voice of the other side of midnight. Angstrom Medal.
Did you find it?
Science advisor at CBS News, Walter Cronkite,
Okay.
and author of the
So that
best-selling
happened
book,
when somebody did
The
something,
Monuments
or?
of Mars and the Dark Mission.
I was in the living room and turned the porch light on, and all of a sudden something right there when I did that switch right there. So I don't know what it was.
Probably
And
just break.
So all it must be on the same switch there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the north side.
You
of
cooking
the
again, I
house.
see? Nope, not cooking tonight.
It's like the living room and
It's camouflaged.
I think the
Because I'm
bathroom.
invincible.
Okay.
Yep.
And there's the south side of the house.
Janitors at how many institutions?
Yeah, we got the south side. It's pretty heavily impoverished, but, you know, we're trying to implement policies to make it better, you know. Now if you can get to clean out your fish tank
Obviously,
again.
that the Huron dude is doing that, so.
Huh?
I don't know, could have been a short or something.
I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. At least our house ain't gonna burn down like TJ Kirk
Human nature. Porn exists because people want it.
with their house fire.
There's a market for customers.
At least, dude, if it was...
It's illegal to send it
Built by Mike, so. who
because then
knows?
you have to be in the position of, you know, all that.
Yeah,
But exchanging
I've always said that too.
websites, downloading on your
'Cause
computer,
con men do con things.
Well, there's
Makes no sense, but I don't care.
say law with that about the exchanging.
It was your magnetic personality, ignore too much electric charge. Negus. Well, hey, you came back. Welcome back.
It's like free.
The loyalists. See, Joe was a loyalist. He came on and then stayed. Regardless. You left.
But why would the FBI?
I can't get over young Mark Hamill. I know he'll never be mine.
Exactly. The local sheriff,
I'm sorry.
Sheriff House, who reminds
I
me
mean,
so much of McLeod.
At least we know what... Well, at least we know what Paul Ziegler Jude Law is to you. It's Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Hamill.
He feels left out.
Oh, what's this? There's a burning kernel of Tabuku. I don't like that smell. Be gone, thought. Oh shit, it's stuck on the... Get off, get off. Oh my god, it was stuck on the freaking thing and I didn't want it exploding. Mark Hamill is old. Dude, he needs to be in a Western film, dude. And it needs to be like a violent, all-out film. He keeps coming up in my dreams. Aw, it sounds like you got a bodacious dreamboat, dude. Got a dreamboat, do you want it that you got in dreams, dude? Honestly, what was the last stream I had? Like this last stream was like, that I remember was actually extremely vague. It was, what was it? It was like, there was like this place that I recognized, but there's like a whole entire chunk of it just missing. And I don't know, it was like a weird dream. Like, that's all I really remember it. And I remember there was a few folks that I recognized that were really close with me there too. I didn't know what the fuck it was about. That's all I remembered. It was like literally a moment within the dream that I remembered. That was about it. Like, I couldn't tell you anything else with this dream, and this was like a few days ago, so I don't know what it meant, but I knew it meant something. Probably not. I'm just trying to extrapolate meaning into just an obscure, meaningless dream.
Right.
What kind of
I think
security team
we know what time it is.
believes a facility
I think we know exactly what we're calling for.
and none
It's
of
always
the
satisfying to go
supporting
smoke
official
out
people that
behind the
live and
dumpster at
up there
work.
are talking?
Dude,
That's
fuck
also
yeah, dude.
really weird.
I don't
this
really,
is so
like, I
far
live
beyond the
close
issue
enough
of
that I
paper
can just
in
walk
terms
home
of,
and just do it
you know,
here.
it's like
But,
Sunspot,
yeah,
Coverstone
like,
2.0.
I used to go around the corner and do that a lot, but, unfortunately, my smoking buddy, quit, or, got transferred. I don't know exactly which happened first. I'm pretty sure, well, I guess if you quit, then you're not going to be transferred, but, I mean, if you got transferred, then quit, I don't know, I think, or was going to get transferred, but then quit, I don't know what happened, it was a few years ago, but we used to go around this, corner, next to this, like, weird green thing, around the corner, and I used to just hang out there and smoke a bunch of bud. I think there was I think once I recorded a video once, but I never uploaded it. And there was a bug there, and I got really mesmerized by it, and it was for like, and I spent like 3 minutes just recording this bug. But, yeah, eventually I just was like, you know, I could just go home and do it. I could just be here in the garage, just do it here. It's easier. I mean, they're not that, you know, hard when it comes to the breaks, as long as I'm not like 20 minutes on a break instead of like 50, you know, like bordering around 15. And on lunches, as long as I'm not like over 45 minutes there, you know, no one's gonna like freak out over me. But now we're gonna go silver screen. So.
Take your manhood to the max.
Yeah,
Try your
but
first 30-day bottle.
yeah, like, you know,
Not 10 days,
when
not 15.
like, I know I'm definitely gonna have you know, my own, wherever I work, I'm gonna have like a little corner I'm gonna smoke at. Like, I'm paying to have my grass cut tomorrow. I got this young Russian boy coming over to do it. Sunshine, sunglass face, so smiley. Well, shit. No filters, God. Yes, filters, sir. This is your punishment now that you made that comment. And I did it even before you made the comment, but now it's punishment, dude. Oh, it's punishment. I'm feeling another edible, I think. I think I'll try another one of these guys. Oh, all individually made. I love it. Granted, I'm probably going to get really messed up, but I don't care. Joe just sits in his house all day taking shits. Indeed he does. Look at this little guy. Raspberry cheesecake. Riggedy wrecked raspberry cheesecake.
Hardwood floors all on sale. 10 to 15% off. Or get new Icelandic oak laminate. It's 23% off. Save up to 34% on waterproof floors. Get more from 39 cents plus special financing and professional installation nationwide. Don't miss it. Visit
Have you ever tried stuffed chicken breast with couscous rice?
Northwest Natural Parade of Homes, presented by DeWills and Home Street Bank.
No, I haven't.
September 7th
But that sounds like something I should make.
Washington. Tour 10 luxurious homes on the Caddis Meadows Golf Course. See dazzling decor.
It's like a very strong raspberry flavor.
Gorgeous pools and outdoor living. Remember, it's the final days of the tour. Don't miss these 10 gorgeous homes.
That's really good.
12 and under get in free. Don't miss the picture-perfect event for fall. Visit ClarkCountyParadeOfHomes.com for directions, events, and discounts.
No, I don't. I think of you, Carl. Lol. This is good. Did Jimmy Whisper get banned? No, we actually got that resolved. It was like... I realized, this is some weird shit that YouTube's doing, like, quietly. Damn. That cookie made my mouth very watery. But, no, like, what it is you can improve users based off comments on your channel. And it's based off shit they posted. So basically, YouTube like shadow bans people from your channel for you. I don't know if that's literal or anything like that, but that's kind of the assumption I'm getting. So I had to approve them, which didn't actually have an effect. We actually did this in the middle of a live stream, so you can actually kind of see us go through this process. And then he had to come back and approve me from his channel for some reason. So it's like a weird back, you know, it was like both. Like I did it for him, didn't work in that end, but he did it for me, so he eventually was able to comment on my shit and stuff. So it's like weird, but it's really fucked up. So essentially, some people are like prohibited from, I've been banned from channels for no reason. Yeah, like I mean, that sounds like an algorithm thing, because Jimmy was kind of banned from my channel essentially, but I literally did nothing. And in fact, we thought you, Carl, were trolling and fucked on him for a little bit and banned him in a chat once and didn't notice. But, oh, it's just YouTube. It's just YouTube trying to do a proxy war against the audience and us, dude. It's a fucking proxy war. They just tried to establish a proxy war. But nah, man, I'm woke. We're woke.
About Sunspot, just a little bit about, you know, what do you think would shut down?
Okay, too intense, too intense. I was just wanting it for that music. Donna, Donna. Jimmy Whisperers always seem to disappear a few lines at a time. Yeah, I think part of that might be due to YouTube, dude. Like, I don't... Fuck YouTube, man. Carl's right. Just fuck YouTube. Like, I tire of, you know, discussing why YouTube sucks, because I think we all just can... If you are on this platform, you should understand that it sucks. Chill, dude. You chill, dude. I don't have to chill for shit, bruh. I don't have to chill for shit. They never get a... They never get a... They just censored half of your comment, even though I'm pretty sure that's just your fucking mobile phone. Which I totally understand. Mobile sucks. Mobile sucks. Like, my space doesn't want to always work sometimes. They never get anything right. Yeah. Like, they do policies that are literally the polar opposite of what would be good. Please chill. I am chill, bruh. I am chill. But you cannot tell me to chill. Only I can make myself chill. It's only me who can make myself chill. No one has the authority to make me chill but me. This damn filter. This damn filter. What do you want? Bubbles? I can do bubbles for you. I can do some bubbles. You know what? We're doing bubbles. 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 You asked for it now. You asked for it now. Bubbles. What if Joe Molloy goes and buys some weed and has a heart attack from it? You literally can't get a heart attack from weed. Like, what? What, dude? I'm pretty sure it helps prevent shit like that. Like, huh? Well, dude, whoa. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on. You gotta know that troll song. You gotta know the troll song. Actually, quiz time. What are the origins of the troll song? I mean, come on. I mean, Carl, you have to... If you don't know the troll song, I will actually legitimately be ashamed of you. At least I can see you between the fucking bubbles. Sometimes they'll be my eyes, too, dude. Sometimes the bubbles will become my eyes. It was a Russian folk song. Actually, you're half right. It wasn't a Russian folk song. It was a Russian song done by a Russian folk artist. But the song was initially a song about American cowboy. It was gibberish cover of a Russian folk song. No. It was a song about American cowboy, but of course it was near the time of the USSR, and you can't talk about capitalist things, so or American Western things. So what he did was he covered it in gibberish and just went la la la, and just basically just did basic singing implementations like la 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 tra tra, just simple things. It's kind of like a more like a more clean version of scatting. If you know what scatting is, it's basically going skip it, ba ba dam boot up, bo, stuff like that. You know what I mean? but it wasn't specifically a Russian folk song, but but everything else about it was. Like, the artist was a Russian folk artist and a Russian musician and a Russian vocalist and a singer. And he traditionally did that type of music, but the song was about American Cowboy. But I don't know all the details about that particular song, but of course it was censored, so he kept the instrumentation of it, but he decided to go la 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 la, did that thing. He did all that, and just as kind of a substitute to get away with it. Or at least get away with the instrumentation, because the instrumentation, there's nothing wrong with that. It was just the themes of the lyrics that they were against. So, it's pretty cool, little history about that song, and how it became a fucking meme. It's pretty cool how some ironically political correctness created such a classic OG meme. Because, if you want to think about it, that was kind of a form of political correctness. It's like, you can't talk about Americans. No. It's like, you can't talk about Holocaust. No. You can't talk bad about black people now. No. You can't talk bad about gay people now. No. It's like, you can't talk about non-binary people. No. Same premise, you know what I mean? I like these bubbles. Sometimes these bubbles just make me smile. They're therapeutic. Sometimes they just get bitch slapped out of the way. I love it. Like that one right there. But I'm just waiting for Justice Stems. What about them? I think they've been, at least their candidates have been pretty good so far, and they've been making some strides and shit. But, I still find the organization, or at least the administration of the organization itself, to be SJW-ish in nature and pretty pretentious in that sense. But, overall, their candidates is what I actually give a fuck, because it's what their policies is what they're pushing. It's what I actually care for. So, I like Jimmy, but I kind of get tired of the... I don't think it's necessarily a straw man, but how he thinks like they're all of Justice Dems or SJWs and all sellouts and corporate establishments. It's like, no. You're right about, them being overran by SJWs, yes. But I don't think they've sold out. Like, if they would have, pretty obvious by now. They're just they're still a fresh organization, and their candidates, for the most part, is what I care about. So, if we got candidates, that are populist left and are pushing policies like healthcare for all, ending the wars, Green New Deal, rebuilding our infrastructure, net neutrality, shit like this, then I'm for them and shit, And of course, whatever local policies that will help, their local areas that they're running for and shit, Like, that's, if those are the candidates on Justice Democrats that are being pushed, I support them, I don't support the actual platform anymore, considering that the main core of why I supported it is kind of gone and washed out now, and basically ousted. But, the candidates and the platform and the policy platform is still there, and I still agree with pretty much 90% of it. So, there's things I think I could expand on. There's a few things in there that I do disagree with, but for the most part, I do agree with it. And if that's what the candidates are pushing for, or at least pushing majority of those policies, then fine by me. We need these type of candidates anyway, because I'm fucking sick of these centrist type of candidates, or these neoliberal establishment corporatist, warmongers and shit. I'm sick of that. I'm not the only one who thinks that. Everyone's sick. Everyone's done with it. Everyone's tired. They want them to fuck off. And these type of organizations are here to tell them to fuck off. So, I don't, that's just my main critique, I guess, about Jimmy there. But, it's not, out of spite or vile or nothing. It's just, I just feel like that, you know, he, like, because where he's coming from, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but, like, I see him coming from a stance of, you know, all these politically correct neoliberal establishment type of views and values have been pushed and shit, and they all need to just be totally, you know, removed off from politics and shit, and get, you know, and actual leftist movement perpetrate up through it. And I do agree with him on that. But, you know, to lap on, like, the Justice Dems, which, granted, there are overran over part, but if we're talking about, like, candidates and people trying to run for offices and shit, then, if, you know, lapping them in along with actual establishment fucks like Cory Booker or fucking who else, like Kamala Harris and shit like that, you know, to lap in like Ocasio-Cortez with those type of people is just it's just definitely ridiculous a little bit. It's like they're definitely not the same, or definitely similar in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, I'm sure you can find, like, especially lately, because I've been hearing like, there was one thing, I think there was something about Cuomo that she endorsed, and you know, it's something that's like, it seems like a political strategic move, and it's like, if you keep doing that, people are going to notice that you might look like an establishment figure. So, for Ocasio's sake, and for, you know, to keep up this populist leftist movement pushing, she shouldn't be, you know, endorsing Cuomo for anything. You fuck him. He needs to be written out of the governorship of New York. He's a piece of shit. Like, I mean, I'm not even from New York, and I can see how much of a twat he is. He's a twat muffin. Would you fuck Kamala Harris? Yeah, I mean, she's hot. I mean, but it would be more like, I wouldn't be like a hate fuck. It will just be like a one-night stand. Like, we met each other at a bar. We end up being drunk enough to just be like, all right, we're down for a night. And then we just wake up and, like, and then I just, like, walk out, schlub out in the hallway, and she's, like, in the room upstairs or some shit. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? I'm getting up. I'm going home. Fuck this. I'm getting coffee. She's gonna be like, what happened? Yeah, so I'll make sure it'll just be like a one-night stand that no one knows what happened. But then it'll be like, okay, we're good. I mean, I guess with that case, there'll be a hashtag #MeToo thing going on. But, I mean, everything would have to be consensual, and there would be like a signed deal. It would be like, oh, this happened, and I signed a contract and shit. Oh, fuck me, what happened? Oh, no. Oh, well, I can't Me Too the motherfucker. I signed a contract. Damn, it was fabricated. I'm gonna have to say it's fabrication. It's like, no, I recorded it before we all got drunk as shit. It's like, we will get drunk as fuck and have a one-night stand, and here's the contract. Recording. It's like, nah. But yeah, I like how I made up this intense hypothetical scenario for this situation if I would fuck Kamala Harris. I like where my mind goes. If these intense hypotheticals, like, there's just, that can, like, even if, with just anyone, like, how will that even happen? Dude, that just wouldn't happen. What are your thoughts on having Spice Hole? It sucks, dude. Thoughts on Spice Hole? What? Dude, it sucks. Like, you gotta know what foods, you know, have the Spice Hole. And it's generally spicy foods. And I love spicy foods, so I understand the warnings of Spice Hole. I understand the precautions of the Spice Hole. So, my thoughts on it are, if you know you get Spice Hole bad, and, like, I mean bad, like, regardless of how much spicy you eat, or depending on what food you eat, just avoid it. And like how this bubble's just, like, expanded my head. But, if you love spicy food and shit, and for me, I don't really get Spice Hole that much anymore. In fact, I don't even remember the last time I had. But, like, just be aware that sometimes it will be bad. And, like, the best way for me to treat it is to just, before you, like, wipe your shit out, you know what I mean? I don't mean to literally use shit as this, too late now, we're going for it. like get the toilet paper a little wet. Just put a couple dabs of water, and that will help. It does. Like, because every time have this happen, and I've done that, ooh, it definitely helps. It really does. It like cools it down and makes it more like sensation, more like a cooling sensation. It's like oh, it's like cooling. I bet Brett gets spice from too much Tabasco and mac and cheese. Oh, dude, I load up on Tabasco and spicy stuff in my mac and cheese, and I haven't had spice from that. Like, the closest I get to spice is maybe like a little like irritation, I guess you can say. Like after like a good amount of hot sauce on a burrito. Like, I'll make burritos sometimes, and then put like a nice amount of hot sauce on there. Sometimes I will get like a little, like, it's not, I wouldn't call it like straight up spice hole, but it's like, it's getting there, you know what I mean? Like, that's about as close as I ever really get. And usually just, quick wipe gets rid of that problem. So that's why I want to call it spice hole, because generally no matter how much you wipe, you're still going to have aftershock of spice hole. Like, even with the cooling thing I was talking about, that would help. That doesn't get rid of the spice hole for, like, at least, how long it does. It just helps it cool down to make it not so miserable trying to remove yourself, to relieve, the bowel movements. I prefer sriracha to Tabasco. I just prefer Tabasco myself. I love it. You're dizzy. I'm sorry, Joe, that you are dizzy. These bubbles actually bore me now, so... Bubbles be gone! Because they bore me. I have been bored. They have burdened the master, so I remove them from this existence. I had a very strong tomato sauce pizza today. Oh, baby. Ooh, that sounds good, dude. Oh, I had this Italian wood fire, this like Italian wood-fired pizza with pepperoni, and I got some onions, white onions, and olives on it, dude. Oh my god, it's so good. Like, I used to be like a thick crust type of guy. Fuck that, dude. Wood-fired, thin crust. There's something about that now. I have been enticed to the thin crust. I don't know, like, I want to say all thin crust, but like wood-fired thin crust, or like the Italian style thin crust. Ooh, I don't think it's literally Italian style, but I don't know. I think I might have gotten one over by thin crust, cause like the way the crust is, it's actually a little it's obviously different, but it's like different now. Like, I like the thick crust because I like chewing on that like thickness, like on all the flavors that are like in that thick, you know what I mean? But the thin crust, there's like the crunchiness about it, and like a little bit of like that edge that gets like golden brown and stuff with like a little bit of sauce in there, but it gets like all the top too. Might get like a little string pepperoni like hanging out there on the edge. Like, there's something about that. I don't know now. Like, I used to not like that, like, for some reason. But now I'm kind of intrigued. Joe Maloney's Italian American. Neapolitan pizza over American pizza. Dude, if I ever go to Italy, I have to try pizza there. I need to. Like, that is obligatory. I'm not even saying that as like, well, I'm an American, I must try their Italian pizza. Like, I actually want to know what a true, genuine Italian pizza is. Because I know it's totally different from any pizza here. I don't even care if it says Italian style on the label, the box, or whatever. It ain't. I want to know what a true Italian style pizza is. Like, I actually would. Pizza should be kept simple. I actually agree. Like, pizza, like, it needs, obviously, the dough for the crust, and it obviously needs a sauce base. Now, everyone goes for a tomato base, but sometimes I think it can get away with different other bases. Like, I think you could probably do, like, a tomato pesto, like, garlic base instead of just pure tomato base. Like, I'm sure you can also do, like, something that isn't tomato at all. Like, I'm sure you can do a different base, too. I wouldn't know what. but I want to go to Italy and try their pizzas. Maybe they have like different for their sauces, and not just like tomato and other seasonings and stuff. But what else? And then I and then oh okay yeah, and then I mean obviously needs like a cheese at least like I wouldn't say like some places like at least like big places like Domino's and like Pizza, they overdo it on cheese. Like sometimes I feel like a pizza doesn't always need that much cheese. Like sometimes sometimes it's everything else that's like truly about it. Like so for me, like what I do is like you get your first nice layer, you get your first layer, but then you get for the fourth base. You get you get for well I guess yeah, the fourth. I mean if you're unless you count like the crust as like your core just thing you're doing everything, but I call it the first base. But but you want to have I would say like let's just do like a standard, well, like what I did earlier, standard pepperoni, olive, and onion. Like get all the pepperonis in there with your nice little thin base, and then you want to get for me the olives on there and then some onions, just a little bit, not too much at first. Get a nice little thin base for that, so it and on top of all like the pepperoni stuff, just mainly around that stuff, so it kind of solidifies it in when you cook it. And then you want to add a little more and places that you didn't put them on, and then add a little extra there, some more, and then add all the seasonings like like the powders, like onion powders, garlic powders, whatever other seasonings you may have, like rosemary and stuff like that, all on top of it, and then just another very finite layer just to kind of make sure everything's solidified evenly. And it wouldn't be too much, but overall it will be like a nice layer of cheese on top of everything. It's not like gonna, and how I'm picturing it wouldn't be too thick, and also wouldn't be not enough, of course. So it'll just be enough to make sure everything's solidified in there, and that the sauce is like in there, all good, but also can seep out too a little bit and get infused with all the other stuff. Like there's enough of everything in there, so it's just all like up in there. You know what I mean? It's not just like it's not just like an obvious distinct layers at this point. It'll be like a nice mixture of stuff going on it's like a blend as it goes up. You know what I mean? It's a blend as it moves up the pie of the pizza pie. You know what I mean? But that's kind of how I envision it. Like at some point, I definitely like at our department we actually do sell pizza dough. So at some point, I want to get some of that pizza dough, like a whole wheat pizza dough, and make my own pizza and try that. I missed a bunch of comments in that rant. Hold up. Hell yeah. Sometimes I like Sicilian pizza or pan, but it's not a simple thin crust or wood fire crust with just some sauce and cheese. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like, I know this is probably not an Italian thing, but to add bacon on there too, ooh, that would be good. What I want to do is I want to experiment with a pizza. It's still simple. Like, I'll keep the ingredients I had on there, but also, like, add on top of that, like, diced up garlic cloves and just sprinkle it all throughout. That would be pretty good. Along with, what else? What would be, like, another meat that would be really good? Ooh, maybe another meat that would not complicate it too much, but would be really good on it. I'm thinking either like a beef. And pepperoni is usually pork based, so maybe like a chicken too. A cooked pizzas that work. Succa la minca. I don't know what that meant. You could put so many different things on a pizza nowadays. You could, dude. You could put beef, chicken, pulled pork, prosciutto, ham. I'm not a fan of prosciutto. I've smelled prosciutto, instant turn off. Like there's no way I'm putting that in my mouth. I don't like prosciutto, man. I have that at work for sandwiches and stuff like that. Dude, I can't. It's so fermented and pungent. Or I don't know what about it. I don't know what it is that makes it that way, but I just can't. Ham? Yeah, like, I mean, for me, my American way would say bacon. But if we're trying to do it in a more traditional way, I don't want to do bacon because I don't think prosciutto is good. It's ham. I mean, the prosciutto we got is like beef prosciutto. So you must be having a different type of prosciutto. Jamon and Serrano is good too. I'm thinking maybe like what else would be good? Ooh, green onions actually wouldn't be too bad. Not I like cheese smell. Hams are not fermented, just cured with salt and dry aged or smoked. Well, like our prosciutto is not the way you described because it's like it's like fermented, but I don't know how to describe the thing. I just know it's very pungent and the smell is just it's like damn near like might as well be bad or something. Like I don't know. Like everything in my mind says no, don't eat this. It will kill you or something. Like it smells awful, and I don't even want to taste it because I know it's gonna taste. Ugh. Onions, peppers, pineapple. Pineapple's Hawaiian though. See, like that. That kind of gets into that because I don't think pineapples are like Mediterranean or anything like that. What? So it like for like something more traditional Italian, it definitely would not be meatballs. Yeah, I guess so. Like little mini baby meatballs, like shredded, like ground up beef, or shredded beef, and just like put them up as like little balls of meat, and just scatter them throughout. That I mean that would be pretty good. And have it like really like have them like little seasoned balls, like because if you put them on there just bland and put season on top of it, it won't soak in as well. But if you season them up and roll them up in little balls, then it will be like little flavor bombs. That would be good. Was the Ignore Husky AD account coming? You asked me on a DM and now you're asking me here, really? To be fair, it was like I found that, but it was like a day old, and you already said a bunch of other shit, and I was paying attention to that stuff. So, probably not, because I'm a viewer of porn, not a presenter. So, probably not. But, I mean, really? Like, no, I doubt that's happening. Like, nah. Like, I'm not gonna say I haven't thought about it, but, I mean, considering where I want to, like, make a direction in life, do I really want to do that to myself? Do I want to pull a TJ Kirk? No, I don't. I don't want to pull a TJ Kirk and have that on my record. I mean, I could and said fuck it, but if I ever do, I am just gonna be totally no fucks given about it. So I'm a nigga. That's all good, dude. I'm just fucking on you too. You troll me, you troll me up this question, I'm gonna troll you up right back. I know it's not troll me up question, but I mean, it's fuck on you a little bit on it. Curry chicken is good. Thai chicken pizza. Ooh, that sounds good. Not to totally derail that conversation, but what was I even saying about that before? I don't even know. Who cares? This got derailed, so we'll just continue with the Thai chicken with the pizza. But yeah, I mean, curry chicken is very good. And Thai chicken pizza, man, like to blend that, like, let's just say fuck it, like. Let's start this idea. Like we're gonna make a pizza together, guys, and we're gonna add anything. We don't does anything. So like we'll start this dough. Like what are we making this dough? It's like whole wheat. Are we doing like a honey wheat? Carl, you derailed it. I regained it, dude. Don't derail it again. Derail it. Derail it. Now I'm derailing it again. But like anyway. I'm thinking, like, just a standard whole wheat. I'm always been, like, I like whole wheat. What's an AD account? It's basically an adults-only account on Twitter. So, that account is basically probably going to just basically be posting porn, usually, of the person who has that account. Like, if you look at my follows on Twitter, like who I'm following, you're going to find some. If you follow Carl, I can guarantee you're going to find some. So all I just got to do is just you'll see it. AD means Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. After death. Let's get back to the pia. Yeah, the pia. Let's get back to the pia. But let's get our dough going here. So anything, like we can even make this dough dyed. Like we can dye this shit blue. We can make a blue pizza. Let's make a blue pizza now. We're gonna make an American pizza. We're gonna make an all-American now. We're gonna do an all-American now. That's what we're doing. We're gonna make a blue cheese. You're gonna have some of that blue crust. That right? Then we're gonna get some of that white American, because we're American. So my crust would be basic. I mean, yeah, for real though, like, we'll definitely have it pretty basic. Like, I mean, I've actually tried dyeing pizza dough, and honestly, it just made it look like it was blended in instead of, like, actually green, which is what the dye color was what we used, and it didn't work out that well. It looked like just this weird, it looked like splotchiness everywhere. It didn't work out too well, or just didn't use enough. But yeah, I think definitely whole wheat crust though. I'm just gonna stick with that. And so sauce base. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys for the sauce base. So we got whole wheat dough for the crust. I think we'll just do a standard 12-inch. Though I think size does not matter for this. We're just gonna make a standard 12-inch because fuck it. But while I light this up, fight amongst yourselves amongst the sauce base, and if you want to make me proud, don't do tomato base. Think of something different. It's hard to chew hard, thicker ones when older. Old man crust. Hey, I mean, tomato sauce. You literally did the polar opposite of making me proud. I said, if you want to make me proud, don't do a tomato-based sauce. Try to do a different sauce. Like, and if you are gonna do tomato, make that experimental as fuck, dude. Like, add some extra shit in that tomato sauce. Like, if you're gonna, I want to see some, like, rosemary, some, like, thyme. I want to see some, like, garlic and sweet onion and that shit. Like, ooh, I almost dropped my torch. I want to see some stuff in there, dude. Like, I think my edibles have come into effect because I am, like, invested as fuck into this hypothetical pizza we're making, dude. Size always matters. I like 16-inch. Ooh, that's a good size because that's, like, not too big, but it's also not too small because a 12-inch is, like, you know, an individual, but a 16 you can share with, like, 2 or 3 people. Basil and onions. And basil onion base. All right. I can see that because there is a basil sauce, a pesto basil sauce is actually pretty good. So that will be a really good base, I think. But I feel like there's something missing with that because that will be very overwhelming if you just have that as just the base. I feel like we could what's something we can do? I'm thinking of what's an olive base, actually. Yeah, there we go. Like an olive base sauce. So, like an olive pesto basil sauce. That sounds really good, actually. So, all right. That sounds like a really good thing. Holy shit, Joe, slow down. We're getting way ahead of ourselves here. Fresh sliced tomatoes and olives. And that's all in the sauce base? That actually sounds like a good idea. Though I want to do sliced, I would probably dice it up myself because that would be easier to spread out evenly. But with olives, that's a little easier because they're already really small and you can just, and they're already diced up. So, alright, yeah, that actually sounds like a good idea. Like, tomatoes to be added in there, but not as a sauce base, but to kind of like dice up and get all the juices in there to kind of soak in for like a tomato-y base on there. Like, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a really good sauce base right there. That's not totally sauce base either. 5 cheese. Alright, so what type of cheese is we going here? We got 5 cheese. Gotta go work tomorrow. 10? Fuck, that sucks, man. We have cheese blobs. Well, what type of cheese? We got there's a lot of cheeses out there. So if we got 5 cheese, I'm assuming we're probably gonna add a little bit of cheddar in there and probably American. I'm assuming Parmesan and all right, here, hold on. All right, we got cheddar, American, Parmesan, mozzarella, and what would be another good cheese? Havarti actually is really good. I like Havarti. Yeah, we definitely got to have some Parma. So yeah, yeah, that sounds like a really good cheese. Ricotta. Goat cheese. I don't think people have done goat cheese on a pizza. Let's try that. Let's go experimental. I want to go experimental with this pizza. We already are. Might as well go all the way, right? Let's do goat cheese. Mozzarella, Parmesan, goat cheese, cheddar, and Havarti. That sounds like a really good experimental 5 cheese. Soft cheeses work best. Yeah. And there's creamy goat cheeses. Havarti's naturally very creamy. Cheddar, when melted, is pretty creamy. Parmesan, when cooked, just turns to grease. Yeah, that is kind of true. So maybe like as the last cheese on like as like a topping to kind of, I don't know. Oh, that one's a maybe, but the first 3 are really good. Affected after it's cooked. Yeah, that's actually a better idea. Yeah. I don't know. We don't have to. It has a weird taste. It has a weird taste? Really? Not the goat cheeses I've had before. They've always been really good. So, yeah, like that's what I would do personally. I would do like a like maybe a 3 cheese, cause stop it, Carl. So it's a heart attack pizza. Well, Far Pizza right now, it's not a heart attack pizza. This sounds like a pretty healthy pizza that has like all sorts of fucking goodness in it right now. So I think a 3 cheese combo sounds really good. I don't think if 5 cheese to me feels like we would be pushing it with the cheese. But a 3 cheese sounds like you can have like 1 thin layer and have you know, your toppings and shit. And then have, or like start on some bigger toppings and have the second layer of cheese solidify those toppings, and then have a top layer of toppings, and then have the final layer of cheese solidify all that. Like, so for me, it feels like 3 cheese sounds like a really good combo. Goat cheese has a goaty taste. Well, it's goat cheese, no shit. I mean, but to me, I personally don't mind the taste. I mean, every type of goat. I mean, I've only had like 3 different types of goat cheese, but every type I've liked so far. I mean, I've had this really unique like caramel goat cheese that was very, very creamy, but tasted very good. There was this other creamy goat cheese that I had on this Norwegian wrap, this chicken Norwegian wrap that was very good. And there's this other goat cheese I had once that was I think it was like a little block, you know, and it was like this. I think it was like a creamy goat cheddar that was like, or something like that. It's pretty expensive, but I haven't had it in a while. Joe Malloy talks like a Canadian. How would you know? He ain't even Canadian. You know, it's hard to find good pizza anymore. It really is. Like, the pizza, like, I have a pizza in the freezer right now, so I could potentially actually just make one right now. And I do have the ingredients to make at least olive and onion pizza, which is probably what I'm going to probably do. Gotta go to bed, y'all. See y'all later. Alrighty, man. Peace. But, like a real Italian hoagie. Ooh. Man, all this talk is really making me want to go to fucking Italy. Because, like, I already have like a list of countries I want to go after Iceland, and I want to go to Germany, and I also want to go to Poland, and I want to go to Italy, and then I also want to go to what would be a really cool place to go to? Another really cool place that would actually be that I'd like to go to would be what is it? Fuck. Oh, the Netherlands. Gotta go into work at 10, yeah. Hey, I don't blame him, man. I mean, don't like when it comes to work. I mean, you want to make sure like you. I mean, he actually seems like he has a decent gig so far, so don't jeopardize that shit. So definitely go on. Continue on with your ventures. I love to go to Mediterranean countries. Same here, dude. I like to go to Greece, but they got a lot of economic issues going on, and also they had some really bad wildfires. So I feel like they need some time to recover themselves right now, and they've been kind of trying to recover for a while. So I want to go to Greece, but if I do, it would probably be in like the countryside area, like so I'm not like if I want to go to these different countries, like part of me wants to any last insult tonight? They're not insults, they're trolls. They're little troll comments. They're not insults. Wah. I'm not insulted. But like if I were to go, especially like if I were to go to these countries, no, bye. That's the greatest insult of them all. To totally reject. So thus, he did one technically. Bye bye. But like, I mean, I will like to go to countries that are like extremely like politically in extreme political turmoil would like I want to go to countries to experience it in itself, but and also part of me wants to understand some of their political turmoil, but I mean a part of me says to go during like the heights of the political turmoil, so like I kind of want to go to Greece just to experience what they're experiencing, to say, hey, I actually did go to Greece and like I saw what they were experiencing and it's pretty fucked up here, like, or something like that, like I mean it would expand on my worldview to see the turmoil and strife that other people have around the world. So I mean, I don't know, I guess in a way I do want to, but if I want to go to a country to experience their culture and to, experience its natural beauty and to experience the people, I'm not going to experience that when they got a lot of political turmoil. So, like if I'm like, that's why I want to like, go to places that are kind of chill at first, because I want to at least get, just let's have fun, go traveling the world out of the way. But at the same time, I want to also experience what they, these people, or at least understand them enough because I've been there. I've seen, I've talked with some locals, and or at least try to communicate with them to the extent I can, and see what they are, see what they feel about their, state of their country and how they feel about things. I mean, all I would just be doing is just listening and shit, because that's all I'm gonna be doing, because I mean, I'm an outsider. Like, I mean, to them, I'd just be an outsider. Just like, I just want to come here to understand. So I'm just gonna be like listening to you. Like, I mean, I want like there will obviously be like disagreements or agreements that we would probably have depending on their political views as well. But I mean, it would only go as far as just like, well, your solutions or something like that, or like how you interpret maybe what could be going on might be a little off or something like that. But I'm not here to like say otherwise. I'm just, as an outsider coming here trying to understand things and talking with a bunch of people, just, who knows? I mean, that's why I want to do that. I want to go out and travel in the world and shit, man. I mean, I want to like try to understand, the world and like a lot of, the ins and outs of what people have to go through and shit. You should be an outsider? Well, I mean, in a lot of ways I am. Like, even around here and shit, whenever I meet new people, I'm kind of an outsider. I kind of hang out and just observe what everyone's doing and what they're all talking about and stuff. I kind of soak it in a little bit, see how, kind of get an idea of who they are by observing. I mean, I socialize with them shit, of course, but I don't really, like, just give all myself out, socializing with people, like, right off the bat, like, oh, hey, what's up, like, I mean, that could just be my social anxieties and just a lot of my current mental inhibitions at the moment, that I'm currently overcoming and struggling with and shit, which is partially, again, due to the mental inhibitions and shit that I got. But, it still doesn't, mean I don't socialize with these type of people. But, I want to, use that tool, more, for the world, because that's what I want to, because I want to see what this, and observe what this world is going through. And it's kind of hard to see it when I'm just looking through a fucking screen, looking at what the news is telling me. Even if it's an independent content creator, I'm still kind of hearing what they're telling me about it. So, it's harder to definitely get, a world, intake and understand the world when you got definitely a confirmation bias that we all have to account for ourselves, and also just, a cognitive bias of, what we intake and what we see. And so, that's why I want to expose myself to the world. Because, fuck, it's a crazy world. It's a really big world, and then I want to see it. I want to experience it. I want to, I want to live it and shit, I don't, I don't know how else to say it. Sometimes it's hard to understand local politics without living there. Exactly. For example, with this whole, the UK Brexit thing, we can look at what the news and, BBC and what people there are talking about and saying what they feel about it, but do we truly understand what they're going through? Do we understand, all the ins and outs and details? And sure, you can look up, what the propositions and shit were all going on through, and you can kind of get an understanding, but to really truly understand it, you have to really be there to actually have the effects and feel the implications of that. So, you can see what, the policy of, leaving would do, and obviously not leaving wouldn't really do anything because you're still in the EU. But, unless you were to live there and understand the economics of it, you understand the social ramifications, you understand just every branch of ramification that can happen with local politics, with any decision that happens, whether that local politics for those people is national or literally by their local province or whatever the fuck, or just even their local community. To really understand that, you got to be there. And I definitely want it, even going there for a week or two, let's say I'm in Germany for 2 weeks, that's still not going to be enough time for me to truly even understand it, but at least it opens my view to understanding more about those people and about what's going on, and their, turmoil and and all the political ramifications that they go through, and all the, and all the policies that, that their government pushes that have their effects on the people and shit. So, that's, I want to go to Germany first, mainly because I want to just, explore that place. Germany is just a vastly culturally and historically rich land and place. I want to go check out the museums. I want to, go... I also want to, have a metal detector, go metal detecting out in, these German forests and shit, and, see if I could find stuff that might be buried there, Russian or German equipment that was used back in the war and stuff like that. That would be really cool to check out, dude. I probably wouldn't be able to take it back home unless I had it shipped there or something like that, but, hell, that would be really cool. Oh, Germany, that Führer. Yeah. Yeah, but, that would, I would go for that first, but if I ever go back, which I probably want to and will, multiple times, the other times I will probably be more based on, knowing the people, knowing the culture, knowing the country, because I want to experience it. I want to, see the world. I want to see Europe. I want to see, I do, at some day I hope, there's places in Africa I can go and hang out and explore and shit without fucking warlords and shit, roaming about, basically a kilometer away, maybe not. I still think Hitler is an interesting personality to study. Oh, he is. He's, maniac and a fucking, dictatorous despot, You can't, you could say that, but also say he's an interesting personality to study, too. I think he is as well. His many facets. Facets. Oh, facets. Oh, I don't know why it took me a while to read that. yeah, I mean, he's definitely a very interesting character, but yeah, I mean, it'll be very, yeah, I definitely want to experience the world and to going to Iceland here in a couple weeks. Like, honestly, like, literally here in a couple fucking weeks. Holy shit. Like, I mean, to experience, you know, to go there, that's gonna be so cool. I mean, I'm gonna be across the street from a casino and a bar, so I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. Honestly, you know, but I'm excited. You know, and this is something that, you know, like there's something that I'm like tapping into a little bit, or something that's being tapped in me that thinking about going to Iceland or just going to a different country in a different place, like there's something in me that's just really really like saying this is like what I want, this is what I need. Like there's something about that, like, you know, like there's obviously like a part of me that loves having a homestead and being, you know, having my own territory and shit, but at the same time there's this strong wanderlust that I've always known I've had, but that is like I've never had it like as strong until recently, honestly. Like it's just been so like prevalent, like, you know, I've been thinking about what more about, you know, world travel and experience more, like experiencing it and everything like that. It's been more in my mind, especially as it gets closer and closer to going to Iceland and shit. You get drunk at home, don't waste your time there. Get drunk in, why not get drunk in Iceland? I'm gonna at least spend one night at that bar, at least one. Come on, like I'm like, what better place to know what the local life is than to go see it? Like there's a lot of places around that have like local bars that have live shows like practically every night and shit like that. I mean, I'm not gonna go to the casino unless they have like poker or roulette or something like that. Then I'm like, all right, I'll play. I'll be game. See if I can win some money, make a profit while I'm here, you know, or something like that. But if it's just like, you know, any other casino, then I'm not gonna give a shit. I'm more about the bar life. I want to see what their drinks are. I want to like I'm actually gonna go there to I'm like no, I'm going to their bar. Like, don't gamble your return money at the casino. I'm not like I said, at the casino I don't give a shit about. It's the bar, because I want to experience Icelandic bar life. Like, no, I'm going to that bar. Yeah, nah, I'm going to the bar. I'm going to the bar. Got super stuttery for some reason, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, like that. I mean, that shit I want to experience. Like, I mean, I want to go out to, like, you know, the bar life of these places too and shit, man. I went to Casino, Mississippi, in last 12 minutes. Went down bar, Mississippi. Went down to Casino, Mississippi. Last about 12 minutes. Lost my whole life savings. Thought about right, lost my whole life savings. I had to go bum sugar off bum. Had to go bum sugar. Look who's here. Cheers, Stefan. Yeah. I'm actually waiting for Logan to fucking, like, show up so we can go to the pub. But I'm also waiting for Robert to do the same. Thank God Elvis was in the building. Yeah. Elvis was in the building? Wait. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, that's right, because... Okay, you got a story. Okay, if I ever do a podcast, we got to make sure we can find a way to, like, actually, like, Skype call or something like that, dude, because there's stories you obviously have got, man, and I need to hear them. So, you saw Elvis. Is this what you're implying here? Are you implying you saw Elvis? Bandito del Dios mío.
Dios mío.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
I'm the Elvis. The Elvis.
I don't know where they are.
Oh, bandito.
There's a bounty on them for $10. They may find them.
Oh my god, this cat just is in bliss every time I pick him up.
So where'd you see him at?
I don't remember. I've lost him for that.
The house either ate him or he put him very obscure place. He just hasn't found it yet.
But anyway, my insurance pays for visits. I just gotta find out which
Kind
one.
of like Krista, she has
Elvis
to
impersonator?
look all over
Aw.
for glasses.
Shame. Personator.
You know, and she stands up, I hear her thump. There they are on the floor, and just like, okay, they must have been in your
Fondue.
lap or fell down your
They're not. Rips
shirt
the
or
fun.
something.
Looked sounded like him, but was trying to make money selling pigs. Of course he was. Trying to get like the kids all to get Elvis pics. Be like, see my kid met Elvis. And all the everyone else around could be like, yeah, no, he didn't. But or with the kid, they'll be like, yeah, you met Elvis. Look at that. You met him before he died. He's like, oh my god. Like, kind of the implication, it seems like. Bandito, Dios mío. Look at this fat little, look at this little turd muffin, dude. Look at this little turd muffin. Look at him. Hey, boy. Oh, what are you doing? Oh my god. What you doing, bro? What you doing? What you doing, boy? Roberto equal Black Santa. He's Black Santa now. Oh, look at this boy. Look at that boy. Oh, who's a pretty boy? Who's a handsome little gent? You're just a gentleman. Yes, you are. You're just a gentleman boy. Alright, be gone, thought. Be gone, a little thought. Real good crowd, me and all the losers sitting there after everyone lost money. Because he stayed at the casino part of it. You're like, I'm gonna get some money winnings. End up not winning the monies. That's why I don't really like casinos, honestly. I mean, if there's like a poker table, like Texas Hold'em primarily, because that's my game, or a roulette table, like those are two I would actually legitimately be down for. But I can guarantee you most casinos don't really have those anymore. It's generally like slot machines or like the machined things usually, or like the machine pokers or whatever. And I'm not down for that. Like I actually want like hands-on with people poker or like hands-on with people roulette. And I can guarantee you that most casinos probably don't got that anymore, right? Like when was the last time you went in a casino?
When we went to Vegas.
Went to Vegas?
Yeah.
And well, Vegas actually is exceptional because they have legitimate like roulette tables, poker tables, blackjack tables. Like, yeah, but like, what about like an average casino, just like in Portland or in like Lincoln City or something like that? They probably don't got like roulette tables and like poker.
Yeah, they would.
They would?
Yeah.
You would think like probably.
Yeah.
Well, if they do, then I would definitely be down for it then. Like, cause we're talking about casinos and shit. Montana has casinos everywhere. Hey, I've been to Montana. I know that. I already know. There's like 10 in Bozeman. There's like 10 in Montana. There's like, I think there's like 10 in every town. Because Billings has at least like 10 too, dude. And my family lives up there, so. I know some of the, they probably have like 15 because Montana, or at least Billings, last time I saw it, expanded like nearly twice the size.
Oh, baby.
Bandito. Oh, you want to give us a chemical bomb? A chemical toxic waste bomb? Those Atlantic City casinos. Nice. Like, I mean, those are the only things I'd be really down for. It's like Texas home poker and roulette tables. Those are the only things. Like, I couldn't... like, slots are just obvious scams. I mean, and all the other electronic games that they have up there are probably scammy. And blackjack, I'm just not... It's not my type. It's not my type of the game. But poker, I love poker. And roulette, there's strategy to roulette where you can actually win that game. and often. Not every time, but often. And it's not exactly... It's honestly easier than most people think, but you don't want to do it too much. Did you see the Trump statue? Or the Dump statue? You? No. Yeah, I haven't either.
How old is this?
Like a day old. Okay. But, yeah, like, no, I haven't. Is it like a legitimate statue, or is it like a parody statue, like a bunch of people have done already?
Man, you stunk it up over here.
Damn it, Bandit! I told you.
Baby.
Yeah, biological warfare on our ass. Damn, you fat little bastard. What are you doing? What is he doing over here, dude?
I don't know.
It was just... oh, God! Bandit! Jeez!
And I'm sitting right here.
Yeah, dude, you got the brunt of it, dude. Bandit! How dare you, dude? I mean, you just don't care. God! Has a cat ever passed gas? Not Bandit, at least not in front of us, but our old cat Scooter did a few times before. It's actually worse than the shit. Like, it's literally worse. I didn't think it could get worse, but it is.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's not... Because it's straight up the methane bacteria. It's not just what they ate.
Mm-hmm.
It's that. Just that. I mean, it's pure that, which is essentially what the worst of the stench is. And it's just... Oh, God. It's terrible, dude. Ah. Damn, cat.
Damn a cat.
Yeah, I'm gonna load this bowl and hopefully the smoke would, like, fumigate it a little bit. Fumigate. Jeez. This is terrible. Bandit, did you actually, like, cover your shit? Or did you just, like, take it or leave it?
He covered it up.
Well, at least he's smart. Like, he actually covers his stuff up. Some of our cats, like, will half-ass it. Or just do it, but not at that shit they did. So they just leave it out.
In that room right there, they like to kick all the litter out box.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one they're really bad with. This one they kind of have to be kind of coordinated with. But that's why they half-ass that one, and that one they just sometimes they don't even go in the box. I mean they do, but if it's
oh yeah, your cat.
Well, I mean, if there's enough litter on the outside, I mean, I've seen any of them do it before. It's just like, what the hell? I try to stop them, or I try to get them in the litter box, but they all usually run away before that happens. And then they come back and they're in the litter box, so it's like, well, fixed it. My cat sits and looks at me clean it. He barely covers his shit. Yeah, it's terrible. Like, I don't get it why some cats just half-ass it. This guy will actually cover it up and make sure it's Gucci. Like, actually, the smell's already starting to go away now. But...
yeah, I've seen a little bit better.
Yeah, but it's just like... You know, like... If it was like Cleo, Meg, or Curly, it would be heavily half-assed. And... it's just like...
Yeah, it smells like my ex-girlfriend.
This smells like... What the fuck? Oh, there's Curly. Speaking of which... Hey, gray ball muff. Hey, gray boy. Curly. Curly. Yeah, come here, buddy. Hey, boy. Hey, buddy. Can I pick you up? Hey, boy. Maybe I can show Curly on stream. Here, I'll just at least get the camera over there. I can get him there. Hey, Curly boy. Hey. Curly.
Hey, don't you want to be on camera?
Curly.
You become famous.
Curly. He's actually gotten super friendly now. Look at that. He just walks right up and gets all the love. It's like, give me the lovin'. Come and get your love.
The bandits told him...
I got two cats, and sometimes they do stink in there real bad. I mean, bad as in bad. You don't gotta tell me. I know.
Oh, we got 5?
Yeah, we got like... yeah, this guy. We got Bandit, Cleo, Curly, Meg, Chewy. Yeah, 5. He's big, like... This guy used to be the big boy, but Bandit has surpassed him now.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, like surpassed. Like Curly is like become like kind of like a little bitch boy now. I mean, he does hump my dad's legs, so I mean, he is at least sexually curious in a lot of ways than one. So that cat has. I mean, he's definitely seen his stride around the block, if you know what I mean. And before he got neutered, that's why he has like a little chipped ear, because we took him to a feral place that does it for free if you find feral cat. And we basically, he's not feral, like we've had him since he was a kitten, like born as a kitten and raised. But because he was basically outside all the time, we just said he's just, you know, he hangs around our house all the time, and, you know, we just want him neutered. Now it's me, 2 African frogs, 100 fish, and 2 cats. That your number of fish literally multiplies every time we like get a number of your fish, dude. Like,
how big's the tank?
Well, he has like 4 of them now, and they keep fucking and multiplying. Like, that's essentially what keeps happening. They keep mating and multiplying. I mean, it's like you have a couple different species of fish, and it's like 2 of them that are just like breeding like crazy, isn't it, or something like that? Or is it like one specific breed that's just breeding like wildfire? I mean, obviously that breed of fish, yes, they keep going. It's pretty obvious that breed of fish is pretty based in like pods and schools of fish and stuff like that, like really big schools. So so it seems like they're a very collective type of species of fish. They're pretty collectivist in their nature. Mollies, yeah. That was the name of it. I remember it now. I totally spaced on the name, but I just have to now remember Molly.
Let's get some mollies.
Black mollies, orange tetras. Nice. I mean, at some point we might have. I might convince my dad to get that fish tank set up. I mean, where it is might just work, but I think we just need to get a new filtration. I think it's better just to get a new filtration system, because we have one, but I think there's parts missing and it needs to get cleaned out a little bit.
What do you want, a tank or terrarium?
My formai died, or your fumai. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing about fish. You can't really get super attached to them because gumai. I mean, that's one thing about fish. You can't get super attached to them because they don't live very long lives. Unless you get like a salmon, then they live like 2 to 3 years. But like, I mean, for the most part, like if you get like a fish, like just any, you know, just whatever fish, they generally last like a year to a year and a half. And it's not very long life for a fish, so I mean, it's kind of good that you got some that are breeding like crazy, because then you can get attached to the collective of fish, and you know that it won't just die out, because it seems like they obviously have a purpose, and their purpose is he was alone. I think he was watching others. Yeah, dude, he had free porn all his life. He's like, oh yeah, I got all these other fishies. Don't catfish live a long ass time? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's there's species of fish that live long lives, like catfish, salmon. There's other
whales.
Whales. Well, they're not fish. Whales are mammals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they live up to they live very long lives, but that's not because they're fish. They tell me frogs will last 10 to 20 years. Well, in captivity, they could probably live up to 20, though I'm sure out in the wild it's probably 10, so that sounds about right. Maybe like 15, 16, 17 years old.
I kill frogs, man.
Why do you kill them, dude?
I like to eat their legs.
Frogs' legs? What are you, French? Well, you are the French guy. Just say it for the chat. French guy 2018. I eat frog legs. Yeah, you're just like nah. But yeah, but I want to get like fish that could. Although the conspiracy is true, I told you, dude. He is the French guy. Dude, he brings frogs out from Johnson Creek. Even if they're small, kills them and just cuts up their little legs and cooks them up and eats them, even if they're tiny.
Good too.
Yeah, he does. He's French as hell, dude. I'm surprised he doesn't come home with baguettes with him. He eats frog's legs. Yeah. I don't, cause I'm too grossed out to try. But he did. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Every morning. He wakes up at 3. That's about the time to go to bed. So wakes up at 3 in the early morning. Goes out Johnson Creek. Goes checks his traps. Sometimes there's a homeless guy in his trap, but or they snagged his traps already. But he gets a lot. He has a lot of them. So I mean, if a bum or a few of them get snagged, he has a plethora of more to go get. But he checks all the traps. He can get up to about like 20 in a day, and they all vary in size from like nice juicy ones to tiny little baby ones. But don't matter. Kills them up, cuts them legs up, fries them up, even tiny little bits where you can just swallow it at that point. Yeah, does it all. They're so little. Yep, just does it. Yep. Definitely true.
It's like a piece of candy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you do it, man. My African dwarf frog has claws. Ooh, so that will add a little extra crunch for him if he ever got his hands on that. Don't go near French people. They'll look at that like, oh, it's squeezy. Oh. I mean, he's been in America for too long. He lost the French accent, but I mean, he's there.
Texas, yeah, buddy.
I like where that derailed into. But no, he actually doesn't. But that would be. But escargot.
Escargot, yeah, it never sounds.
I've heard it's actually not bad. Like I heard it's like chewy chicken. That's what I've heard it tastes like.
Never have tried it. Yeah.
I don't know. Escarfrago. It would just be better if you just did esfrago. Esfrago. Oh, I thought I had a burp. Never mind. Well, now I have one built up, ready to go if I need it to come out now. Everything tastes like chicken if you're drunk enough. That's true. Speaking of drinking, you still down for that pub? It's only 9:35. Yeah?
I'm thinking.
You're thinking? Alright. So I know one of my friends is still down.
One of your friends down there?
Yeah.
Are you going down there or what?
Yeah, they're thinking about it. They're thinking about kicking it anyway, so. At this point, I'm just streaming to kill that time. And speaking of drunk enough, I finally tried Sunny D and rum. How did that taste? Because I haven't tried that before.
It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it actually sounds pretty good. Like, I am gonna like if we end up going to the pub, I'm gonna have Robert try a White Russian in honorary to you, dude. Because I know you like them White Russians. Actually, speaking of which, what are other type of drinks that you recommend? I know the White Russian, Black Russian, Tequila Sunshine, but what are other ones that you think would be good that I would like? Because I want to know more. Not as good as OJ and rum. Sunny D is like really poser OJ. That's kind of true, but every now and then I feel the mood for Sunny D. Very rarely, because I used to have that a lot as a kid for some reason. I guess that was just the thing that I had a lot. But, yeah, like, every now and then I'd be down for it. Mojito is really good, but Wichita doesn't do them. Damn. Well, name ones that just name off ones, and I'll see if they do them. Because obviously Mojito they don't do, but, I can also ask for what recommendations they might have and stuff like that too. Like, I've been there enough to know that they know I at least do Jack and Cokes and cherry Jack and Cokes pretty often. I do white and black Russians often, so they can, and I've had Tequila Sunshine a couple times before, so, you know, they can maybe see what I would like, you know, based off those, you know, preferences so far. Askell Hots, he worked as a bartender over the summer. Alright. Hey, I'll just DM him on Twitter and say, hey, what's up, dude? Stefan told me you got the hookup on drinks. What type of drinks would you recommend, man? Just, like, I like these type of drinks. What would you think? And I know Stefan likes this one, but there's a bar that doesn't serve it. What do you think? What other type of drinks would you recommend? And see if they serve it. I can't help, I don't drink. Well, I mean, I don't either, but I go to the bar mainly to play pool, and I usually just have a drink. Just one or two, usually, at most, when I play pool. And I usually am playing with one of my friends, and that's usually what I do at the bar. Like, I don't go there specifically for the drink. I go there usually to play pool and socialize. Like, that's the main thing. And sometimes the bar food's pretty good. Like, I'm actually kind of down for some of the tenders that they got out there, so I know I'm definitely down to go down there later. But yeah, like, but, you know, I definitely want to, like, expand my horizons of what type of drinks are out there, so whenever I'm feeling, like, if I'm not feeling like the drinks I normally think, and I want to try something new, I keep thinking of him in that blue fursuit. Yeah, I'm gonna ask him where he got that, or where he recommends for some cheap, because why not? I've been thinking about it anyway, and after this Icelandic trip, I'm more free to do expenditures, so, well, honestly, I definitely have saved plenty for the trip. At this point, I'm just saving for the sake of saving. I'm just gonna wait until after Iceland to kind of sort out what I want to invest in first and stuff, and prioritize that. I know I definitely want to get a desktop, so, Wichita has good food, especially for the bar. Oh, yeah. Have you met Wastro? He goes to, like, every convention, I think. Probably not. But he's been on streams a couple times before. I saw him a few times. He's been on here with Tyler, when Tyler was here once. And, I think you were actually here when he was. Don't remember. But, I definitely need to hook up with him again and talk with him some more. I haven't talked to him in a while. I wish. Well, hey, there's actually a convention near you. Like, you're in Philly, right? Is Anthrocon in Philly? You got a fat one. You got, like, a fat furry convention right next to you, dude. If you want to, like, see what we are, go there. It's pretty sterilized because it's, like, big and everyone knows about it. So, you're gonna... If you want, like, the most, general, bland, view, there you go. You don't even have to pay to go there. You can go to the convention center, and I'm sure you'd just be fine walking around and seeing what's up. I was on when he flew in and out. Oh, yeah, he came in for a short moment and then dipped. But a lot of people tend to do that. It happens, I don't care. I don't care. As long as they know I do this. They know I do it often. But I am definitely feeling some food, so I'm probably going to do an appetizer anyway. And there's actually a phone call anyway, so... yeah, so it seems like a good outro moment. So, actually, let me, fuck me. I'll just let this blitz on for a second. I'll just give him a call back. I just don't... I'm sure this is terrible right now. This is terrible. I'll give that call back really quick and just do an outro. Well, I want to smoke really quick first. Do a bowl for that outro. Ah, come on. Fuck off, mate. Jeez, that was annoying. Oh, god damn it. Oh my god, fuck this road. Well, consider this a wrap up anyway. Yeah. Oh shit, Pete, y'all still here, okay. Alright. Y'all still here, that works. Works for me. But, yeah. Well, we're off to go to the pub now, so doesn't really matter much anyway, so I'll probably be streaming tomorrow, and I have something I kind of want to plan. I probably won't have something done for tomorrow, but I could probably have something for Saturday and let you guys have something a little juicy. Have one of the videos I haven't done in a while. Set one of those up, because there are some things out there that I feel like should be expressed. But anyway, peace out, everybody. See y'all around.